This is Celebration TV. Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
Welcome to Newsdesk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring the details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth. To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu.
You're welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am Nicholas Walter. Here are the news making the headlines. 33 coronavirus patients discharged in Lagos State of Nigeria. Tunisian NGO distributing COVID-19 food aid via SMS. Trump rules out renegotiating China trade deal. And dollar sells for 445 naira as forex scarcity persists. Africans thus divided over FIFA's 4-year AFCON proposal. Please stay with us as we bring you the details of the news after the short break. Welcome back and thanks for joining us once again. Now the news and details. No fewer than 33 coronavirus patients have been discharged from the Onika and ENQUIRY isolation centers of Lagos State after they recovered from the coronavirus disease. The state governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in a statement on Monday said the residents, consisting of 24 males and 9 females, had been reunited with their families. He said 33 more COVID-19 Lagos patients, 24 males and 9 females, all Nigerians, were discharged from the isolation facilities to reunite with the society. The patients, 17 from Onika and 16 from ENQUIRY landmark isolation centers, have fully recovered and tested negative twice consecutively for COVID-19. This latest discharge brings the total number of cases successfully managed to full recovery at the isolation facilities in Lagos to 502. He also said they are encouraged by this trend of recoveries and they believe it will continue. Citizens are encouraged to strictly observe physical distance, use face masks, especially in public places, and practice regular hand hygiene. The Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, on Monday wrote on Twitter that the state had so far conducted 9,583 COVID-19 tests. And moving forward, Nigerian Federal Executive Council to hold virtual meeting with presidents and ministers tomorrow. The nation's highest decision-making body, the Federal Executive Council, may reconvene on Wednesday after weeks of indefinite adjournment due to COVID-19. Unlike previous meetings which saw members gathering at the Council's chambers of a presidential villa, however, Wednesday's meeting is expected to be virtual. This is the first time Federal Executive Council meeting will be virtual. While most of the members will be attending from their offices, only a few aides will join President Muhammadu Buhari, who is expected to preside from either the council chambers or his office. The council's meeting usually holds every Wednesday and are presided by either the president or vice president Yemi Banjo whenever the president is not available. The last meeting was held on March 18th on March 25th, while the weekly meeting did not hold. A special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, had told State House correspondents that the council's meeting had been suspended as part of the partial lockdown of the presidential villa in a bid to check the spread of COVID-19. Adesina said the meetings were suspended because of the size and that is not advisable at a time like this, adding, however, that important decisions which ought to be taken by the Federal Executive Council will still be taken by a smaller team of persons. Ahead of Wednesday's virtual meeting, the Minister of Communications, Dr. Issa Pantami, has been leading some of his ministry's officials to test run the process to foresee or to forestall technical hitches. The Wednesday meeting will, among other issues, discuss the nation's response to the spread of COVID-19. On other news stories, we have home feeding for Nigerian school children to begin on Thursday, says federal government. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development announced on Monday night that it will commence the homegrown school feeding program on Thursday, May 14, 2020. It said the program, which would ensure the provision of food ration to school children at home, would begin in Abuja and subsequently Lagos and Ogun states before it will be extended to other states. Although school children are at home with schools shut as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the President, via a March 29, 2020 pronouncement, directed the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development to liaise with the state government to develop strategies on the continuation of the school feeding program. The ministry stated that after consultations with state government, it identified the distribution of take-home rations to the households of children in the programs as a feasible method of achieving this directive after exploring several options. The ministry said it had requested states to carry out mapping exercises in order to trace the households of the children using all available data resources or sources. He said some of the sources include the school-based management boards, community focal persons, cooks on the programs, and most importantly, existing school registers in the local government. In the local government areas where the schools are domiciled. Meanwhile, the federal government has said it is targeting 60,000 households with primary school pupils in Ogun State for its homegrown school feeding programs. The special advisor to President Muhammadu Buhari, Titi Doro Adeyemi, revealed these at a sensitization stakeholders event at Government's Office, Abeokuta, on Monday. And coming from around Africa, Tunisian NGO distributing COVID-19 food aids via SMS. A Tunisian non-governmental organization, NGO Sustainable Food Bank, is distributing food supplies to families adversely impacted by ongoing COVID-19 restrictions. The NGO has set up a food bank which distributes aids by SMS to some 300 families. The long-awaited initiative was finally launched at the end of April to coincide with the beginning of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. The initiative is part of private sector efforts to support the government in easing the socio-economic impact of the virus on the vulnerable sections of the society. The initiative targets families who have lost jobs because of a lockdown imposed to contain the spread of the virus. Mesauda Rafi, beneficiary of the NGO's Sustainable Food Bank, said the initiative was timely because of Ramadan and the lockdown. She can't go out of work. She can no longer clean houses in order to feed her children. Mrs. Rafi's family is one of 300 families chosen by the NGO for the Sustainable Food Bank project in collaboration with the Ministry of Women Affairs. Still from around Africa, all the way from Botswana capital, Gaborone declared high-risk area and quarantined. Government on Monday declared the capital Gaborone a high-risk area and advised residents to limit their movements from henceforth. It also suspended the pink permits, which allowed for movement into and outside of the capital. A statement issued by Dr. Kereng Masupu, coordinator of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 raids, following the confirmed COVID-19 case of a truck driver who came into Gaborone through the Tiokweng border on Sunday, 9th May 2020. The COVID-19 Presidential Task Force would like to advise the public that only those who have been issued pink permits for travel into and out of Gaborone are suspended with immediate effect until further notice. This therefore declares Gaborone a high-risk area, and members of the public are strongly advised to limit their movements henceforth. The statement further disclosed that efforts were underway with respect to contact tracing along the route that the infected driver traveled. The patient is on admission at this Ketumile Misayo Hospital. We'll go on a very short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you updates from U.S. as Trump rules out renegotiating China trade deal. Stay with us, please.
Welcome to Newsdesk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV Newsdesk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT +1, that is 11 a.m. GMT +1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV Newsdesk, the whole truth.
Coronavirus is an infectious disease, one which can be spread from person to person.
However, you can protect yourself, the people around you, and help prevent spreading the virus to others if only you
Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds with soap and water or an alcoholic-based hand rub or sanitizer.
Clean and disinfect surfaces. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing. Avoid close contact, that is 1 meter or 3 feet, with people who are unwell.
stay home and self-isolate from others in the household if you feel unwell.
Don't touch your eyes, nose or mouth with your hands, whether clean or not.
You only need to stay in the comfort of your home.
As Celebration TV brings to you life-transforming,
Destiny empowering.
And spirit-uplifted programs for your viewing pleasure.
Together we can save lives and cut down the spread of coronavirus.
This message is brought to you by Celebration TV, revealing Jesus, releasing destinies.
Welcome to Newsdesk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
and the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV Newsdesk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT +1, that is 11 a.m. GMT +1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV Newsdesk, the whole truth.
Welcome.
All right, thanks for joining us once again. We'll have Trump rules out renegotiating China trade deal. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday ruled out renegotiating the trade agreement signed with China. Trump said he's not interested in that when asked about reports that China was looking for reopened talks about the trade deal signed in January. Washington and Beijing reached a partial trade deal in January. As recently as Friday, Vice Premier Liu He, who had led China's negotiations, spoke by phone with U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin and confirmed that both sides agreed to implementing the first phase of the deal. Under the agreement, the Trump administration agreed to postpone any further tariff increases, while China promised to increase by $200 billion over 2 years their purchase of U.S. products compared to the level of 2017. The U.S. president has hit out at China's handling of the novel coronavirus pandemic and threatened fresh tariffs. The Trump administration accuses China of taking too long to warn the world about the epidemic and therefore to blame for the virus spreading around the world and triggering the global economic crisis. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has even claimed that the coronavirus pandemic likely originated in a Chinese laboratory, but acknowledged there was no certainty. More updates from the UK. Chancellor to set out future of job retention scheme. Chancellor Rishi Sunak is to reveal the future of the government's job retention scheme later amid growing calls to extend it. Currently, more than 6 million people are having up to 80% of their wages paid by the government while they're temporarily on leave from their jobs. Mr. Sunak has previously warned the scheme, due to end in June, was not sustainable and its current rate. The government is encouraging people in England to return to work if safe. On Monday night, it published guidance for making workplaces COVID secured, including requiring employers to carry out risk assessments before they can reopen. However, speaking on Monday's Downing Street daily briefing, Prime Minister Boris Johnson said a sudden big flood of people returning to work was not expected, describing the latest measures as baby steps. Labour's deputy leader Angela Rayner said the furlough scheme needed to continue and should not be reduced, insisting it had been a lifeline for workers and employees during the coronavirus crisis. Nearly a quarter of the UK's workforce has been furloughed, with 80% of employees' wages up to £2,500 a month being paid by the government. Mr. Johnson said the initiative was one of the most remarkable features of the government response and stressed it is absolutely right that they should do it. He said he did not want to steal his Chancellor's thunder, but added that Mr. Sunak would update members of Parliament on Tuesday. Moving forward on business news, dollar sells for 445 nairas for scarcity persists. The dollar exchanged for 445 naira in the parallel market on Monday due to scarcity and shrinking liquidity in the forex markets. The extension of the ban placed on flights in the country by the federal government as part of efforts to contain the spread of coronavirus further affected the access to forex by the Bureau de Change operators. The President Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, Alhaji Aminu Gwadobe, said the extension of airport lockdown as well as sale of forex to the BDCs pending when air travel resumes has impacted the naira negatively from 425 naira to 445 naira per dollar in the parallel market. Despite money banks had, however, commenced forex sales to customers wishing to pay school fees and the SMEs making essential imports needed to revamp economic activities across the country. This followed the commencement of forex sales by the Central Bank of Nigeria to all commercial banks for sale to parents and the SMEs as part of efforts to gradually ease the effects of the COVID-19 lockdown. The Central Bank of Nigeria stated that it had resumed the provision of over $100 million per week for school fees and the SMEs. Unity Bank PLC said in statement that it had received the supply of foreign exchange from the Central Bank of Nigeria to adequately meet eligible demands from customers. AFCON stated that it was important for CBN to resume the sale of forex to the BDCs in order to defend the value of the naira and infant industries. And still on business news, stock market losses for 49 billion naira on profit taken. Equity transaction on the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Monday closed on the negative route to further extend losses as investors continue to take profits from last week's gains. The market breadth closed positive with recorded 14 gainers against 12 losers. Consequently, the all-share index dipped 94.57 basis points or 0.39% to close at 23,950.83 index points as against 24,045.40 recorded the previous trading sessions. Market capitalization of equities depreciated by 49 billion naira from 12.531 trillion naira the last Friday to 12.482 trillion naira as market sentiments remain on the negative territory. Meanwhile, a turnover of 207.25 million shares exchanged in 4,460 deals was recorded in the day's trading. The premium subsector was the most active, measured by turnover volume, with 68.26 million shares exchanged by investors in 1,547 deals. Volume in the subsector was largely driven by activities in the shares of FBNH PLC and Access Bank PLC. Also, the insurance subsector boosted by the activities in the shares of Regency Assurance PLC and ICO Insurance PLC, followed with a turnover of 4.73 million shares in 198 deals. We'll go on a short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you sport news. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Newsdesk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV Newsdesk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV Newsdesk, the whole truth.
Coronavirus is an infectious disease, one which can be spread from person to person.
However, you can protect yourself, the people around you, and help prevent spreading the virus to others if only you
Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds with soap and water or an alcoholic-based hand rub or sanitizer.
Clean and disinfect surfaces. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze.
Practice social distancing. Avoid close contact, that is 1 meter or 3 feet, with people who are unwell.
stay home and self-isolate from others in the household if you feel unwell.
Don't touch your eyes, nose or mouth with your hands, whether clean or not.
You only need to stay in the comfort of your home.
As Celebration TV brings to you life-transforming,
Destiny-empowering,
And spirit-uplifted programs for your viewing pleasure.
together we can save lives and cut down the spread of coronavirus.
This message is brought to you by Celebration TV, revealing Jesus, releasing destinies.
Welcome to Newsdesk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi.
and the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV Newsdesk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV Newsdesk. The whole truth.
All right, thanks so much for joining us on Sports News. African stars divided over FIFA's 4-year AFCON proposal. Several African stars are divided over the proposal of the world governing body FIFA to the Confederation of African Football that the African Cup of Nations be held every 4 years instead of 2. FIFA President Gianni Infantino outlined his vision to project African football to the top of the world, which he said was aimed at the development of football competitions and infrastructure in Africa. DJ Drogba and Riyad Mahrez backed the proposal with the former insisting that the move would help increase the flavor and rarity of the trophy. Drogba said he thinks they're actually going to have to get to that point playing in the African Cup of Nations every 4 years because the player is quite disadvantaged in relation to his club, and given that there are a lot of African players now playing in Europe, it complicates things a bit. Mahrez said during an Instagram live interview on Monday that AFCON should be once every 4 years and in the summer. He said if it's every 2 years and in winter, African football would not be respected. But in a different twist, Cameroonian Samuel Eto'o believes the proposal to have the AFCON held every 4 years will not be in the best interest of the continent. They want to have Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at their disposal. Eto'o's former Barcelona star is backed by the 3x Super Eagles stars, who says there is no need trying to emulate the Europeans. In another sport news, UK government gives green light to EPL return. No professional sports even behind closed doors will be staged in England until June 1st at the earliest, the UK government has announced. The government has published a 50-page guidance document detailing how England will begin to ease lockdown measures. Step 2 of that plan, which will not be allowed to start before June 1st, include permitting cultural and sporting events to take place behind closed doors for broadcast, while avoiding the risk of large-scale social contact. The document states that reopening venues that attract large crowds such as sports grounds may only be fully possible significantly later, depending on the reduction in numbers of infections. Premier League clubs met on Monday to continue discussion on Project Restart. The top flight has been suspended since March 13 because of the coronavirus pandemic, but is aiming to resume in June with 92 fixtures left to play. There will be no cricket played in England and Wales until at least July 1st, following a decision by the England and the Wales Cricket Board. British horse racing had hoped to resume behind closed doors later this month, having been on hold since March 17. Premiership Rugby is aiming for resumption in early July, with 9 rounds of matches remaining. Under proposed rules for boxing to resume behind closed doors in July, fighters in British shows will wear protective masks during ring walks and could be banned from using a speed bucket between rounds. The government's current aim is to introduce Step 2 on June 1st, but only if sufficient progress is made in successfully controlling the spread of the coronavirus, and the lifting of restrictions could be delayed. And that has brought us to the end of the news on Celebration Television News Desk. And in case you're just joining us, here's the recap of the news headlines. 33 coronavirus patients discharged in Lagos State of Nigeria. Tunisian NGO distributing COVID-19 food aid via SMS. Trump rules out renegotiating China trade deal. Dollar sells for 445 nairas. Forex scarcity persists. And African stars divided over FIFA's 4-year AFCON proposal. And quickly we have We have word for the day that says life doesn't come with a manual, it comes with a mother. That shows the essence of a mother in the life of every individual. In fact, in this world, you can as well drop your own opinion, your comment on our social media platforms. We have on Facebook, Celebration TV, Instagram, My Celebration TV, Twitter at My Celebration TV, YouTube, www.youtube.com/Celebration TV. Remember that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all. No matter the office you hold today as a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, or as a person pursuing passion, you have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. It's time for us all to play a part and do it with all diligence. Thank you once again for staying with us on a news desk. I remain Nicholas Akosile Walter. God bless you. To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing